Offensive line turnaround is the Colts' success story. Andrew Luck only been sacked 18 times, contacted on 52 offensive plays, while Deshaun Watson has been sacked 62 times and contacted on 165 plays, both of which lead the NFL. And a big reason for that revolves around how long Watson holds on to the football. Here is Dan Graziano with the Colts.
Jack, this will be the third time this season that the Colts have had to play Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, and they know it's not easy. I talked to Colts linebacker Darius Leonard. He said Watson is a really unique player. He said, when I look at it, I'm trying to tackle a wide receiver more than I'm trying to tackle a quarterback. He said, what I mean by that is just the way he moves, the way he operates on the field, how shifty he is. He said, I can't go tackle him high because he uses his off arm to swat that away. He said, so the way I like to look at it is instead of trying to bring down a quarterback, I have to think like I'm trying to bring down a wide receiver. He said, that's what helps him play against Watson. That's how unique and special he is. Jeff Legwold's out in Houston with the Texans. Jeff, what do you got?
Thanks, Dan. The Texans know they've pressured Colts quarterback Andrew Luck better than most this season. Colts only surrendered 18 sacks. The Texans have 6 of them in the 2 meetings between the two teams. Texans also know, unfortunately, Luck has also thrown for 863 yards and 6 touchdowns in the 2 meetings this season. Texans have to get pressure up the middle. They also have to keep Luck hemmed in. They can't let him get outside, break containment, and throw on the move. Head coach Bill O'Brien put it pretty simply. He said, we have to do a better job. Safety Tyrann Mathieu said that they can force Luck into mistakes, but they have to get pressure into his face. Jack, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. These two have met twice already. We have Game 3 coming in playoff mode. Remember this one? Let's go all the way back to Week 4. Play to win. Reich said you play to win. I actually like this, the way he did this thing. So they get all the way down the field, overtime, and they go for it all, try to win the thing. Here's what Reich had to say about the call.
We're not playing to tie. I mean, we're going for that 10 times out of 10. I mean, that's just the way it's got to roll.
Love it. Yeah. Again, we're not going to play for a tie. And I think everybody in that locker room freaking likes that.
Teddy, you like the call?
No, sometimes you play for a tie. That situation right there, all Houston needed was a little more yardage, and they're kicking the field goal. No, he will learn as a first-time head coach. Sometimes you do play for a tie.
All right, so there's a little more action in this game. Watson, 24-yard pass, star receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and then here is the field goal to win it for the Texans right as time expired. They met again, though. These two teams would meet for the second time. Week 11 is when that game went down. Take a look at Watson. Got his little move coming out of the tunnel. Helmet comes on. That Colts pass rush getting it going. Take a look at this right here. Been a big issue is Watson holding the ball, and they're getting there on the Texans.
Yeah, just holding the ball too long here. You got to get rid of it at some point. And look, if it's not there, throw it out of bounds. But you can't not hold on to the ball.
Relies too much on his ability rather than his intellect at times when you got to see that slot blitzer coming.
Big play there from Hunt. Let's take a look. Had a big play down the middle of the field. T.Y. Hilton going and getting this one.
There's a saying in the defensive meetings for play-action shots like that, but I can't say it because it's TV. But get a safety over the top of T.Y. Hilton.
Help!
I don't care.
Need some help?
Get deep.
Luck is unbelievable in play action in this game. Hilton has averaged 133.3 receiving yards in the last 7 games. I mean, these two teams could not be more evenly matched. You look at it, it's been 3 points in both of those 2 games that they've split that's decided those games, come all the way down to the wire. Both play great defense. Both have good receivers. The quarterbacks, sometimes they can run around, do all kinds of stuff. So when 2 teams are this evenly matched, Wood, what do you think ultimately decides a game like this?
Well, it's going to be up front. It's going to be in the trenches. And I think the one thing we keep on, we give a lot of credit to Andrew Luck, but this offensive line is quietly becoming one of the best offensive lines in football. And they've done a great job of protecting Andrew Luck. And I know the Texans have done a good job of getting to Luck better than any team this year. But that's where the matchup is in this game. Can J.J. Watt, can Jadeveon Clowney, can Merciless find ways to get to Andrew Luck? Or is this offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts just going to flat out overpower and Marlon Mack make big plays for him?
I agree with you. I'm telling you, after this game, though, we're going to be talking about the mistakes that were made by the quarterbacks by trying to do too much. Because each of them have a little bit of, I'm just trying to make a play for my team in me. Andrew has it the way he tries to force it in certain, you saw a throw last week that went for a pick six, I believe. And also, I've seen him in playoff games. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Where are you throwing this pass? And then, of course, Deshaun Watson, like I said, relying on that ability, scrambling around. It's going to be a turnover in the fourth quarter, I believe, by one of these two quarterbacks. We talked about playoff football. Yeah. Both are still young in terms of playoff experience. Deshaun Watson's first. Andrew, it's been a while for him. So in that fourth quarter, that's what we're going to be talking about. What was he thinking with that throw or that decision?
And the great part about this is, not only is it a compelling matchup, but you have, to me, the three candidates that would be the three leading contenders for the comeback player of the year.
Right,
Andrew
J.J.
Luck,
Watt, yeah.
Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt. Right. Both quarterbacks who we're talking about. Somebody making a mistake in this game. Somebody being chased by J.J. Watt. So some compelling storylines to go along with the obvious matchup between these two sides.
Who has the better defense, would you say, Will? When you look at this matchup, who's better on the defensive side of the ball?
Look, if you look at it from just personnel, you would think that the Texans are better personnel, as far as have better personnel with J.J. Watt and Clowney and Merciless, and the list goes on and on. Tyrann Mathieu in the back end. A lot of good football players, but then when you look at the way they play as a unit, you got to go with Indianapolis Colts. They fly to the football. I know Leonard is a good young rookie,
yeah, he is.
But up and down that, on all three levels, there's a lot of no-name guys who make big-time plays, and it's because effort. They make effort plays that keeps them in football games.
I mean, who are the finishers? Who are the finishers that are going to force that mistake that I talked about just a second ago? And the best finishers on the field defensively for me are Watt and Clowney. They're the ones that are going to be chasing Andrew Luck, getting there, forcing him into that mistake potentially in the fourth quarter. So I think the better closers, the better finishers are with the Texan defense.
Before long, we'll be talking about Darius Leonard in the same defensive class because he's that kind of defensive playmaker.
Yeah,
Not as a pass rusher, but he's a great young player.
Great linebacker.
Has J.J. Watt been J.J. Watt, just quickly? I mean, is this the J.J. Watt of old that we're seeing, or not quite?
You've seen J.J. Watt pre-injury. We're talking a multiple-time defensive player of the year, but he's come pretty darn close. He's had some games this year that he looks just as dominant. It's taken him a little bit while to get there, but I think J.J. Watt is playing solid football.
I think he's playing solid football, but if we're comparing him pre-injury, no. I mean, that guy was a different beast altogether. I think he's still dominant. He's probably better than 95% of the defensive players out there, but that pre-J.J. Watt, man, was a absolute monster.
Yeah. As football goes, it's still going to end up being all about the quarterback. So let's do our quarterback spotlight. Which young guns can handle the pressure? Which old or the aging pilots can start to fly that plane over the hump? We'll see who can do it. Let's go best matchup first. Who is the best quarterback matchup for you this week?
Based on the numbers, we're still within the same conversation here, Jack. The best matchup is Andrew Luck versus the Houston Texan defense because I think they're still trying to figure out a way to guard T.Y. Hilton. But when you're talking about Andrew Luck and throwing for almost 900 yards against the Texans this season, based on the numbers of the past. I know this is playoffs, and does defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel, you come up with something for T.Y. If Eric Ebron beats you,
live with it.
Congratulate him,
Yes.
okay? But don't let this guy beat you. But Andrew looks like a great matchup.
All right, well, how about the worst matchup? Where are you looking?
I'm looking at Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens. Listen, the San Diego Chargers have seen him once already, and they know what some of the strengths and weaknesses. They're going to be ready for the read option, and he's still going to get his yards running. I think that what you're going to see the Chargers do is take away the middle of the field and force him to throw outside the numbers. His numbers aren't that spectacular as far as numbers throws outside the number. You're going to see them take away his strength.
Breakout candidate. Where are you looking?
I'm going with Dak.
What?
And I'm going with Dak because I think it's time. I think it's time. They're calling the game right. Zeke's going to be the focal point. He's got Amari outside to get that separation for him. Beasley's made some plays, and I just like that momentum they have coming into this week. 4th and 15. You got a free rusher coming from the left. You find a way. What that does for a young player's confidence like this is huge. Get him, Dak.
Adam, quarterback storyline.
I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson making his first postseason start. We've seen what he could do in the college postseason. We're waiting to see what he could do in the NFL postseason. His last postseason game was the college football playoff win versus Alabama in 2017. Everybody remembers that game. That's when Dabo Swinney said, we're looking at the next Michael Jordan. Well, Michael Jordan's got a chance to crack the NFL postseason now. Let's see what Deshaun.
Defense. It may be, honestly, the defenses may end up taking over come this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of these things. Where are we looking first with the defensive spotlight?
We're looking in Chicago this week. Michael Bennett with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he's come on at the end of this season. He has 9 total sacks, but at the same time, the pressure, 52 pressures on the season. Michael Bennett has become we've always known he's been a superstar as far as a pass rush, but we've seen this team, this Philadelphia Eagles defensive front, really get after the quarterback, and it starts with a one-on-one, winning his one-on-one battles on the inside.
Seattle, Dallas linebacker Pro Bowl almost. Who you watching most?
You know it's going to be. It's Bobby Wagner. There's one constant in Seattle when it comes to defensive football. It's been B-Wags. This has got to be a 15 to 20 tackle game. All right, him versus Zeke. You got to beat the block sideline to sideline, in between the tackles, whatever he's got to do, because if it's not Wagner, I don't know who it's going to be. KJ Wright may help out a little bit, but Wagner's got to make all the plays. Go get him.
Where you made your name back in, where are you looking with?
Well, it's going to be the entire secondary of the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm going to single out one guy. Marlon Humphrey has had a spectacular season this year. Big play after big play. Had a big game against the Chargers in the first meeting early on. This guy's played lights out, but he's back there with Eric Weddle, Tony Jefferson, Brandon Carr, Jimmy Smith. A lot of great veteran football players back there with him.
Adam, how about a storyline that you're tracking on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, Chicago Bears defense. The Bears have gotten to the postseason and won the NFC North on the strength of their defense with Khalil Mack, with players like that bringing down opposing quarterbacks, wreaking havoc. They allowed 17.7 points per game this year, led the NFL. You see the amount of yardage per game this year, under 300 yards per game. Have the Eagles and Nick Foles on Sunday in Chicago. Cold, dang, dark Chicago. And the defense.
What?
Come and play.
Get it, Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah.
Defenses have been through a lot this year, so it's only right we show them their top 5 highlights. Terrell Suggs back to week 12. Ravens
T-Sizzle.
making a play. This Ravens
How about them
defense.
Sun Devils, T-Sizzle? That's how we make plays like that. You know
Stay
that?
out of this one.
There you go. Go ahead and take that one back to the house.
I stay out of this.
That old man.
He can still run a little bit,
He
too.
can
He's
get it,
a little
man.
older than he once was.
Hall of Famer, brother. I mean,
Oh,
this
definitely,
is
sir.
had a Hall of Fame career, and will continue to play well. And he'll show up this week as well.
43 yards is what he cruised right there for a touchdown. So let's get to week 12. Steelers, Broncos, final minute of play. Shelby Harris. Watch him leap up.
Look at the
take
big man.
defensive lineman's dream.
He was getting blown back.
Take a listen.
Reading the slant.
This week has been real good, you know. I got to prove to everyone I have the best hands on the team. That's nice. I've been saying that for a while now.
Shelby, do you think Roethlisberger saw you on the play?
I don't know, but the ball saw me. That's all I know.
Okay. Let's go to week 1.
Big guys get excited.
Bears, Packers, Deshaun Kaiser. We got to show this one. Deshaun Kaiser hit as he throws. Khalil Mack, you know exactly who it is. Intercepts the pass, returns it all the way back for a touchdown, although he almost got that thing stolen at the end. Mack, unbelievable year.
I don't know if the ink was dry in his new contract until he got this play, because he showed right away what the value was going to be. He joined the top 10 defense from last year and just made it the best unit in the league.
Yeah. Pretty cool, especially once you get paid like that to just not even miss. If anything, get better coming over to your new team. Baker Mayfield tipped. CJ Mosley.
Oh, big play.
Little tip drill, gets the interception to seal this one.
You know, momentum had shifted in this football game, and here goes your Pro Bowler and CJ Mosley making big plays. Wonder why he makes the Pro Bowl every year? That's the reason.
Week 5 now, Vikings, Eagles. Carson Wentz going to get hit as he throws here. And look at Big Joseph, big limb ball Joseph taking this thing 64 yards. Can he do it? You better believe it. Big 98, getting 6.
Love the fat man touchdown, guys. Go ahead, get it going, big man. Yeah,
Go get that oxygen. He went right to that oxygen, man.
He had to run that far since the 40 at the combine.
I saw the football too. Nice. Oh, he got the shades.
Go ahead and get a little oxygen. Get the shades, get the oxygen. We've shown you dozens of electric plays in the past 90 minutes. But we wrap up this edition. It's the top play of the year. Next.